Alright, what's going on, everybody? Back with another live stream, back with some better picks, some prize picks. Gonna be breaking it down with you guys, answering any questions you have as much as I can in the chat, giving you guys some tickets, talking about some concepts on how to succeed on these apps, all of the above. So we will start on Prizepicks and work our way over to Better Picks on the second half of the stream. Just Prizepicks is the most popular app of the two, so I tend to start with that so that anybody that just has the Prizepicks app can get some value out of the stream, and then we will switch on over to Better Picks as well. If you don't have Better Picks, guys, check them out. I continue to promote them. I continue to play on their app every single night because there are no pushes. Hit another sweep last night over there again, so it's been a very kind app to me. I'm really enjoying it, and we will be discussing it today on the stream. I'll be giving you guys at least one 5-pick on Better Picks, at least one 6-pick flex on Prizepicks, and we'll be talking about exactly why I like these plays. Feel free to just take your favorites if you so choose. I would recommend playing all 5 and 6-pick flexes on Prizepicks and all 5 picks on Better Picks, as those slip types are optimal. So if you didn't know that, that is exactly why I only play that slip type on each of these apps, right? Sweep last night. I post this on my YouTube community page, which I didn't bring up, but I can just bring up my Discord here on the side, guys. These are all plays on Better Picks that I couldn't get on Prizepicks, right? It's going to be a theme you're going to hear from me often, but it's just very true. So as you can see, we got one of these picks cut off at the bottom, but it's Brandon Ingram under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'll just tell you. Max Strus over 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists wasn't even listed on the board on Prizepicks. Same with Maxi Kleber. Miles Bridges' points under 26.5 was already bumped down to 26 even, and Aaron Gordon's points, rebounds, and assists was already at the 21.5 on Prizepicks. So, you know, I went ahead and took advantage over on Better Picks where there are no pushes, and that will be one of the apps we talk about in the video to go along with Prizepicks in this stream today. All right, guys, so these are all plays that I am actually playing myself. You're never going to hear me promote any plays on the channel that I'm not playing myself. I do have my own personal Better Picks NBA account, Better Picks NBA account pulled up right on my phone. That'll be good to go. And like I said, it's all legit, right? It's all plays I'm actually placing, and I can just actually like pull up my own mobile device as we go along here, and obviously share the plays with you. But then you can see, you know, these are my winning tickets without the logo stamp I put on for social media. I just do that because people like to take my plays, all that stuff, and do not so nice things with it. So I started to put my logo stamp on it. But yes, let's start with some prize picks. We currently have 54 people in here. So if we could get this thing up to 50 likes, that'd be fantastic. I'm just going to kind of build out as we go along here. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll describe exactly why I like these plays. Yesterday's stream, the plays went terrible, but it's because we were on overs and those games like all turned into a blowout, right? I talked about really liking Nikola Jokic. He needed like 5 more fantasy points. He sat like the whole fourth quarter because the game turned into a blowout. I talked about liking Jakob Poeltl for the Raptors. He sat like the whole fourth quarter because the game turned into a blowout, right? So it stinks. But the good news is if you're on unders, sometimes that'll happen and it'll help you. Unfortunately, we were on the bad side of variance yesterday, which really stinks. But the good news is we got a nice fresh slate to attack here today. As far as how many games we got on this one, guys, we're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gamer. So not the largest of slates, but Still decent. You know, it's not like we're only dealing with like 2 games or something like that. So we should be able to have some decent value. We did have some more injury news come through before I got on stream that I really didn't like to see. That Anthony Edwards is now listed as questionable because I did like me some Anthony Edwards plays prior to coming on the stream, and now he's questionable. He might play, but anytime a guy gets downgraded to questionable midday, it's not ideal. So that's certainly a guy I would have liked to promote to you guys, but being that he's questionable, I'm not going to because he could get ruled out. So I want to give you guys, if at all possible, guys that we know are playing, so that none of that crazy last-minute injury news affects the plays that I'm providing here on the channel, on the stream for free here today. So 64 blowouts suck. They would have hit if they weren't blowouts. Yeah, exactly, man. It just happens. But like I said, a lot of people like will complain when that happens, when they have overs, and then they won't even acknowledge when like it helps them, right? So it goes both ways. You just got to acknowledge it goes both ways. Sometimes you're going to be like, let's say we had Jokic's under, right? And he needs like 3 more fantasy points, and then he doesn't play the whole fourth quarter. Like, you're not going to be complaining when that happens, so you just have to acknowledge that sometimes it's going to help you, sometimes it's going to hurt you, and just know that. And if you think it's going to be a blowout and you like an under on a player, you know, it's just going to benefit you even more on that play because hopefully he's riding the pine the whole fourth quarter and doesn't touch the court again, right? So, as always, I don't really have a plan as far as the plays. I've researched all day, so I already know off the top of my brain some plays I like. There are going to be a bunch of plays that got bumped. But, I mean, I've already been scanning the board, doing all my research all day, so it's not that hard for me to just kind of go off the top of the dome and describe why I like some of these plays for you guys. But if you do have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I will gladly answer them as much as I can. Sometimes the questions get real active and I can't get to every one, but I do my very best to help you out with those. So fantasy score props tend to be something that we like to discuss on the streams and the free videos, as they tend to not get removed and or bumped quite as drastically as non-fantasy score props. So we'll start out with a late game pick here for you guys. We got 30 likes, 78 people, guys. Try to get this thing up over 50 likes. We'll start building out the 6-pick flex, but I will lead things right off with Jalen Duren. Like his fantasy score here tonight, and an over. It's funny, there seems to have been trends throughout the season for me. Like, the beginning of the NBA season, I found myself on a lot of overs. I thought Prizepicks was pricing a lot of guys too low. Then they started pricing guys like very inflated. I was taking unders like crazy. And now I find myself back on the overs train, it seems. My model, my projections, and all of that fun stuff lately seems to be liking some overs. They're just misrepresenting guys, you know, pricing them too low. So here we are again tonight with Jalen Duren. He's at 33.5. Fantasy score, he has put up 44, 60.9, and 39 the last 3 times out, which is really, really good. Obviously, he's getting up towards like 40 plus, and they still have him in the low 30s. I've got him going out there and getting more up towards that 40 mark here again tonight. So he's going to be the very first guy that I'll just pull up that I know off the top of my brain I will definitely want to be promoting to you guys. As always, I will provide you reasoning. We're not just going to take random plays. There are lots of processes that go into these picks. On my end, I have a bunch of different systems that are going to detect these plays. The biggest thing is the minutes, right? He's been up towards, over the last 3 games, more towards the upper 30s in minutes, whereas on the season, he's only playing like 30 minutes per game, right? So naturally, he's getting more minutes, more opportunity, which is going to lead to more fantasy point production, right, guys? He's a great fantasy point per minute producer, but the minutes is what's really standing out to us. There's been some trades across the association, which has shifted up some rotations for these teams, and Jalen Duren's a perfect example, right? 35, 37, and 37 minutes the last 3 times out after having only played 27, 31, 30, 31 here, 4 games in a row. They shipped Bojan Bogdanovic over to the New York Knicks. Alec Burks over to the New York Knicks. As far as their starting lineup and their injuries, Isaiah Stewart is on the shelf right now, right? So there's another guy that's going to cut into Jalen Duren's minutes in the rotation typically, and he's out with an injury. So no Isaiah Stewart minutes. Naturally, Jalen Duren's playing more minutes. Isaiah Stewart's a guy that was playing, 25, 32, 34, 28 minutes in the rotation. So now they're a little bit thin. They're dealing with some injuries. And Jalen Duren is a phenomenal fantasy point per minute producer in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. This is a guy, much like a lot of centers, guys, a lot of centers are just going to produce at a high rate in the fantasy scoring department because they're under the rim so much. They're going to get those blocks and steals around the paint and the rebounds, of course. Typically centers do fare pretty well in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format, and that's the same thing with Jalen Duren. He's putting up 1.15 fantasy points per minute on the season as far as the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. He's putting up 35.8 fantasy points per game, and keep in mind, guys, on the season, he's only playing 30.4 minutes per game, so, his minutes are trending upwards with the Isaiah Stewart injury, with the recent trade with the New York Knicks. These are all things that are factored into my projections, but I think everything I'm pulling up on the screen should explain to you guys exactly why I like this play, right? If you're listening closely and you're following along, the last 3 games, he's played 35, 37, and 37 minutes respectively. That's in the upper 30s. And he puts up 1.15 fantasy points per minute. I'm not a math major, but guys, simple math, right? He's putting up over fantasy point per minute. If he plays 37 minutes, that's going to put him at like 37 plus fantasy points. Prizepicks only has him priced at 33.5. Look at the last 3 games: 44, 60.9, and 39. That's a very, obvious trend to follow here. It's pretty simple. It's just the minutes are up, right? There's no Isaiah Stewart. Bojan Bogdanovic got shipped off to the New York Knicks. He's still producing around the same rate that we would expect out of him. He's just getting more minutes, which is going to lead to a higher fantasy score production, right? So he's the first guy right away I can tell you that I like on the stream today. 33.5 is just too low. 39.3 over the last 5. Those 2 games where he was down in the 20s was before they shipped off Bogdanovic to the Knicks, right? So he was getting those lower minutes like we just discussed. So hopefully that was helpful to kind of break down, like, that's how these fantasy score props work. For those of you that don't know, like these fantasy point per minute production rates that I'm bringing up, right, they're factoring in this scoring format. This is the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. You get 1 fantasy point for every point that the player scores, 1.2 for every rebound, 1.5 for every assist, and then you get the 3 points for every block and steal. So that's all baked in to the per minute production that I discuss on these videos. But just to give you the specifics, and all of these rates that I'm bringing up, guys, right, are like the exact same scoring format, okay? So when I say he's putting up 1.15 fantasy points per minute, this is using FanDuel fantasy scoring is the same exact thing as Prizepicks. If you've watched my content for a while and you listen closely, you already know this because I say it all the time. So these are FanDuel and DraftKings fantasy point per minute production charts. And Jalen Duren is putting up 1.15 fantasy points per minute. That is literally precisely the same fantasy scoring format as Prizepicks, what you're seeing on the screen right here, right? So the content that I provide, the picks that I provide, the picks that I play myself, the picks that I provide the VIP, it's all using these same processes, right? We're looking at rotations. We're looking at fantasy point production. I have actual projection models that take care of a lot of that stuff for me. We're looking at the matchups. I get asked all the time, like, are you factoring in that the guy is on a back-to-back? Are you factoring in that, like, he's playing Anthony Davis, for instance? Someone might comment, like, Anthony Davis is a really good rim defender. Like, yes, I already am factoring in all of that. If it's a matchup that's not so good and the opposing team is only giving up so-and-so fantasy points per game to the opposing centers, that's all going to be baked into my projections, right? The guy's probably not going to be looking quite as pretty as he would if he was in an easier matchup. But it's all already factored in, the total, the pace, all of that stuff. So I just want to make that very clear to you guys. Yes, I do factor that all in. And if you just listen to my breakdown on Jalen Duren, it should be pretty apparent that this is a very educated, many statistics, many factors going into the pick with all the stuff I just reviewed. So hopefully that was a little bit helpful. That's going into every single pick. Just hopefully that was a little bit helpful explaining what's going into it, right? We're looking at the point production, the minute increase. You always got to be aware of the current injuries on the team, the status. Like I said, in this case, it's a combination of Isaiah Stewart being out and a recent trade that shipped Bogdanovich off. That's really opening up the minutes for Duren. Like, they got to play somebody, right? And he's the guy that's really seeing a nice benefit in a boosted minutes out of anyone on the roster. Really, they added Fontecchio from the Utah Jazz, so he's kind of filling in, but it's not taking away minutes from Duren because Duren's a center, right? Two very different positions. So hopefully that all makes sense. And let me check the chat and see if there's any questions, guys. And once again, if you do have any questions, definitely feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll do my absolute best to help you and answer. I'm going to be on stream for probably about another 40 minutes or so, breaking down some plays on Prizepicks and Betr picks. Tatum, question mark. There's a big question mark with Tatum right now because Kristaps Porzingis is listed as questionable. Myself, I don't really have any interest in any Celtics props currently until we get that news. Like, another thing that's going into my process, right, is sometimes like there's trap lines. Like, there's quite a few props on the Celtics right now with some value on the under and or the over. I think off the top of my head, the only Celtics prop that I locked in so far today was a Betr picks prop, and it was because I felt comfortable even with the news pending on the line that I got the guy at. Because right now, we're pretty much looking at odds that are factoring in Porzingis playing. I was able to get Jaylen Brown discounted over there on his points prop at 20.5. So I was getting a whole point discount on his line where Betr kind of messed up. So I took advantage of that value on Jaylen. But outside of that, off the top of my head, I really don't think I've touched any Celtics players today because that Porzingis news is pretty big. And I put my phone on Do Not Disturb when I get on these streams so that it's not like vibrating like crazy, and I can pull up my Betr picks and all that stuff. So I have to make sure I'm checking my Twitter on my side here to make sure if there's news that comes out. You always feel free to let me know in the chat. I'm usually really on top of it, but during the streams, it's just I'm locked into the chat, answering questions, all that fun stuff. I don't think we've seen any more news really. There's a bunch of news coming out for Wednesday, tomorrow, but no more news for today. Tobias got ruled out for tomorrow. Isaiah Hartenstein's questionable. This is all stuff that's not really relevant to this slate today. Russell points and assists 24.5. Schroeder 3.5. Hit 94% of the time. Yeah, I don't know where you're seeing that prop though. Where are you seeing that? It's not available on Prizepicks, so I'm aware of the prop you're discussing, but it's not available on Prizepicks. So where are you taking that prop? That might help you, but that's not going to help anyone here that's trying to get Prizepicks picks, if that makes sense, because the prop's not on the board. So love Claxton dunks if Porzingis is out. Yeah, I'm not a dunks prop guy. I cannot believe how many people are taking dunks props in the chat lately. I'm just seeing so many people talking about dunks props. All of the Claxton props that I'm on have been bumped. There was value on his under 12.5 points. I took that. There was value on his under 10.5 rebounds. I was on that as well. As you can see, they've both been bumped down. The value's been taken out of the props, so I can't promote those to you. Don't play the bump. Just because you heard me say that out loud, don't play it, right? Because the value's been taken away from the prop. That's what Prizepicks does. It's now a push. They bumped it down, so there's no longer value in the prop, right? I already beat the bumps, so I did my job to capture that value. But if you take it now, that's really not smart, so just don't do that. We got 137 people in here, guys. Let's get this thing up over 100 likes, please. I'm going to be building out a 6-pick for you guys on Prizepicks. I'm going to be building out a 5-pick for you guys on Betr. And the more likes we get, the quicker we'll go along and the quicker we'll get the ticket. But next guy we can discuss right away is going to be Franz Wagner, who's priced at 35 fantasy score. He has been absolutely crushing this fantasy score, and I do have him doing so again tonight. Prizepicks has gone ahead and priced him in the mid-30s. I do have him in the upper 30s. So 43.2 over the last 5. We can once again, let's look at some market data, right? Like, why is this guy popping off? Is it just lucky? Probably not. There's probably some reasoning. What is the reasoning? Did his minutes go up? Is there an injury? Did a trade go down? You know, what's going on here for us? And we'll talk about it right now. I'll give you guys my breakdown of the Orlando rotation. So Franz Wagner, as you can see, is another guy whose minutes have been trending upwards in a pretty major way. He played 44 minutes last game in a competitive game, and Paolo Banchero played 43 minutes. Every other guy in this Orlando rotation, the coaching staff has decided we're just going to kind of play the matchup, ride the hot hand, whatever the case may be. They're not playing consistent minutes. You got Wendell Carter's minutes kind of in the mid-20s, sometimes the upper 20s, sometimes lower. Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Cole Anthony, Jonathan Isaac. All those guys, the coaching staff's just kind of like flow of the game, who's hot, what matchup is working, right? There's 2 guys that are seeing solidified minutes no matter what, and their minutes are on the rise, right? It's Paolo Banchero and it's Franz Wagner. This is another example of a mispriced by Prizepicks, in my opinion, right? With the current trend in Franz Wagner's minutes. The same thing we discussed with Jalen Duren, right? There's a good chance these are both plays. Like, this is going to be the last night we can attack them at this current pricing, because the pricing is just going to continue to slowly climb for us as they continue to adjust to the fantasy point production and the minutes, right? So let's take advantage while we can. He played 44 minutes last time in a competitive game. Against the Spurs, he only played 28. Keep in mind, blowout guys, 127, 111. This game he played 35, 121, 95. They've been involved in quite a few blowouts. So, but on average, he's playing the mid to upper 30s. The last game we saw really go right down to the wire. This Memphis game, 38 minutes. So they're very clearly committed to sticking with Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero in the rotation. The other guys, they're not as committed, right? They're bouncing them around. They're playing the hot hand, all that fun stuff. When we look at Franz Wagner's fantasy point per minute production, rolling him out the small forward position in the starting lineup, and on the season, he is putting up, he trails only Jaylen Brown upon starting small forwards on this slate today with 1.11 fantasy points per minute in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format. He's putting up 37.2 fantasy points per game. He's got a 26% usage rate. And on the season, he's only playing 33.3 minutes per game, right? So we discussed this with Duren, right, as well. Duren's a guy that's only playing 30.4 minutes per game. Now we're starting to see his trend up in the upper 30s. It's a very similar story with Franz Wagner here. As a matter of fact, their fantasy point production is pretty much identical too. 1.11 for Franz. Jalen Duren is putting up 1.15, right? So there's a slight difference, but they're both putting up like 1.1 fantasy points per minute, essentially. And with the amount of minutes they're getting, they should be able to continue to crush where their props are at. It's just priced too low. I would say Wagner's priced a little bit better than Duran, in the mid 30s as opposed to that 33.5 line for Duran. But still, my projections, right? The matchup, all the stuff that I get asked, am I factoring in? Yes, yes, yes. We're looking at, upper 30s. I've got him. He's put a 46, 57, 47, and 39. That's ridiculous. I mean, he's having some huge games. I've got him more around that 39 mark that he put up against Minnesota from a base projection aspect. He does have a ceiling, obviously, way higher. I've got a ceiling sitting right around like 47, like he did against Detroit. But as you can see against the Spurs, he went all the way up to 57. That's like a big outlier game, if you ask me. I don't think he's going to be doing that too often, but bottom line is he's only at 35. He should be priced up into the upper 30s. So we once again have another similar story here, right? With no, just Prizepicks mispricing the guy. The minutes are trending upwards. Jalen Duren, same thing. Minutes are trending upwards. And both guys putting up right around 1.1 fantasy points per minute. That's factoring all of the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format, right? So let's look at how he's getting the job done. I always pull up the game log just to give you a visual. It's just a clear-cut picture, like how is this guy doing it, right? He put up 36 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Time prior, 34 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. 13 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. By the way, he had 7 turnovers against Miami, which is awful. That was a rarity for him. He's not a guy that typically turns the ball over. And then we look at the result there. He only put up 24.9 fantasy points. Keep in mind, that's literally -7 off his score from turnovers. That was a rarity. Look at his game logs. Only 1 turnover, 1. He had 7 in that one, 0, 1, 6 in this one with another bad game, but then 0, 2. So he's had a couple high, but on the most part, he does a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. We certainly don't want guys that return the ball over that frequently when targeting fantasy score, if at all possible. But more minutes, more opportunity. As you can see, he's compiling quite a few stats outside of the just the points. Even these games, he's popping off over 30 points. So that's what we want, right? As many paths to success as we can possibly get when it comes to targeting a guy's fantasy score. And the minutes are starting to really trend up for us, which is all stuff we really do like, for sure. So, 157 people in here, 61 likes, guys. If you're enjoying, hit the like button. If you would, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. I'm going to do my best to answer all questions that I can while keeping the stream moving along. I'm going to be live here for about another 30 minutes answering any questions that you guys have. And then I'm going to jump out of here back into the lab, as people like to call it, for the VIP leading up to tip-off, and continuing to provide plays over there. If you'd like to join after the stream, hopefully I can help you out with these picks for free. And I provide a ton more over there if you're interested. Do you ever play the Green Demons? No, I do not. They're a ripoff. The Demons and the Goblins are ripoffs. You can get the same exact props on a sportsbook at much better odds with higher payouts. So it's just not something I would advise doing. I understand not everybody has sportsbooks, including myself right now. I'm on the verge of changing that with being in a state with new betting laws. So I myself will have access to sportsbooks too, but no, I would not advise that you do that. How you feel about under on Jacquez Jr. fantasy points? That's not a play that I'm on. I can already tell you. Russell 24.5 points and assists is on Prizepicks. Steve says, yeah, that play I was looking a little bit at earlier. Jalen Williams over 8.5 rebounds and assists. That is not a play that I'm on. I was able to capture his under prior to the bump on his assist prop. It's actually not even available. Oh, well, it does look like it may be popping actually again. Earlier in the day, his assist prop had been bumped down, and I was able to get it in before the bump down. But looks like the market might be shifting a little bit on his. It's repopping um, on Prizepicks, so maybe some different things going on for Jalen Williams. Um, had some stuff go down on my side screen here, guys, so I'm just recollecting myself here. Bear with me. We'll continue along here shortly. Something weird going on, but anywho. See if there's a couple more questions, and then we'll continue along with our 6-pick flex, and then we'll switch on over to better picks as well. Can you review some bonus fantasy score? It's not a prop that I'm on, man. It's just I can already guarantee you, since it's a prop that I'm on, I already reviewed it, and it's just there's not enough edge. So they just priced it too good, right? Like I'm not taking the over, and I'm not taking the under. They've got him priced at 49 even. Prizepicks has been doing a lot more even on the fantasy score too. It used to be where they would always have a 0.5 on the fantasy score no matter what. Now they're bumping non-fantasy score props, and they're having pushes with fantasy score props, and it's just priced very accurately, right? The 49 fantasy score, there's not enough edge in it for me. So why am I gonna take it? It just doesn't make sense. Like they got it right on point when I'm talking about not targeting a fantasy score prop, and that is the case with Sabonis here today, man. It's just they've just done a really good job of pricing him. So yeah, I got him getting like 40, anywhere from like 47 to 49. So, they've got him at 49. It's just, unfortunately, they priced him too good. So that would be my breakdown on Sabonis. I just wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play the over. I wouldn't play the under. They just priced him very effectively today. So, Holiday Fantasy or Gordon, are you on Discord? Yes, I'm on Discord. I have the KJK DFS VIP member package that gives you access to my Discord. There is a cost associated with it, but I'm in there nonstop, so there has to be a cost associated with it. A lot of effort goes into it. It's all apps, all sports that I cover: Prizepicks, Underdog Fantasy, Better Picks, Sleeper Picks, Parlay Play. It's linked below in the description. It's on Patreon. You can just Google KJK DFS VIP. You'll see me pop up. And you purchase it through Patreon, and then you link your Discord to Patreon, and then you get access to my premium Discord. So yes, I do have Discord. It's just there is a cost associated with it, as that's how I funnel all of my VIP content to my members. So hopefully that answers your question. How do you feel about Ben Simmons' rebounds and assists? That's not a prop that I was on. I don't like coin tosses. Yeah, I mean, that's the point of, like, we want to find mispriced props, right? We don't want to be attacking the ones they priced accurately. So that's why I said with Sabonis, there's no edge in the prop. Just don't even play it, right? What's the best pick of the day? I don't know. I haven't released my play of the day yet to the VIP. I'm going to do that as soon as I get off the stream. I haven't decided yet. But the first two that we're rocking with on the stream, and then we'll continue along here. We got 69 likes. Get this thing up over 100, guys. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. These are the first two that we like. I already broke these down. I just wanted to take a brief second to answer any questions in the chat with people filing in. Austin Reeves Fantasy. No, none of these plays. Does it come with access to the data? Joseph, you get everything under the sun with my VIP. A lot of the data sources that I talk about on these streams, they're separate with another cost. I have access to all of them. I use them all day to research. OddsJam is one you'll hear me talk about and pull up the screen. You can use the promo code KJKDFS to get 35% off their tool. And Another tool that's fantastic is the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Another tool that I use. I also have my own projections for fantasy score. So software is very expensive. I spend hundreds of dollars a month on software to make my processes very quick and provide my picks to my VIP members. So I understand there might not be people that can afford to buy like all of this stuff I'm talking about. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and compiled it all into one package where I provide the plays and try to help people. It's all bundled in. There's a lot of resources built into this, if that makes sense, because I do understand all the stuff I'm talking about. You know, it's all expensive, but I do my best to help for free, and then I do have the paid option, which is just nonstop action with all of that stuff I talked about. I'm seeing Porzingis ruled out in the chat. Let's see. Yes, Porzingis was just ruled out 4 minutes ago, so this is exactly what I said. I didn't really have a strong lean on Porzingis. Sometimes there will be little tip-offs as to if I think a guy's going to play or not, like if he goes through shoot-around or, practice reports, if he like missed the last practice. With Porzingis, there was really not anything tipping me one way or another. He did just get ruled out, though. Yes, that is confirmed. Which Prizepicks is ridiculously fast at taking props off the board when that happens. So I guarantee there are no Celtics players on the board. What about Betr picks, though? Looks like the same thing. Sometimes on Betr you can take advantage of those injuries, as they tend to have props up a little bit longer on Betr picks, which is fantastic. All right, let's continue along here. Should I cancel my Porzingis entries then? It depends on what else you got in the entry, my friend. If you are someone that's been listening to my content, I went over this last live stream, a good strategy that you could have done. If all the value aligned, obviously, this is just like if the value aligns. You could have taken like Porzingis's under and then other Celtics players over, for instance. If you had Porzingis projected under and them over, and then you could have got a discount on those players' lines if Porzingis got ruled out and they get inflated. Because if Porzingis gets ruled in, you're good, and then if he gets ruled out, you're getting a discount on those players. So you could just have like a 6-pick flex, and then Porzingis is a DMP, and then you run it as a 5-pick flex, which is still optimal. On Prizepicks, 5 and 6-pick flexes are optimal. So that's a strategy you can put out. I had Porzingis projected over today, so I wasn't able to deploy that strategy, and I also wasn't really too high on any of the other Celtics players with all that stuff factored in. So, but that is certainly a strategy you can do in that case example, right? Because then you're getting the under on Porzingis that you already like as is if he is ruled in, and then if he gets ruled out, you're getting a discount on all those lines of those players. So 169 viewers, 79 likes, guys. Get this thing up to 100 likes. I'll drop a full 6-pick flex. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this is valuable to you. Hopefully I'm helping you with some good tips. The next guy that I can tell you that I like off the bat is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They've got him in the low 50s. I've got him in the mid to upper 50s. 4 and 6 mans are the best. No. Prizepicks has gotten a lot better at fantasy points. You were right on the edge yesterday. Yeah, man, they have. They've gotten better at everything. This app is, I don't think people understand. Like, I've been providing Prizepicks content. I don't know when I started this, man, off the top of my head, but over a year, maybe 2 years at this point now. I did a lot of DraftKings and FanDuel content prior to when Prizepicks even existed. And yeah, their board is extremely sharp now compared to what it used to be. It's ridiculous. So Betr Picks is by far my favorite new app. You'll hear me say it 1,000 times because there's no pushes. So I've been having a lot of success on there. We'll get into that on the second half of the breakdown. But I want to go over Prizepicks first for people in the stream that don't have Betr Picks or that aren't in a state where it's legal yet. So that I can help out Prizepicks people, and then people that have both, you're going to get a lot of value. But Shai Gilgeous, 51 even on his fantasy score. He's taking on the Orlando Magic, which is a phenomenal matchup for opposing point guards. They have been giving up quite a few fantasy points to opposing point guards. It's just been a phenomenal matchup. They're giving up over 41 fantasy points per game. They're giving up over 7 assists. They're giving up over 7 field goals. Shai Gilgeous in the same exact matchup. Last time against Orlando, went out there and put up over 65 fantasy points. So these are all good things for his over. These are all factored into my projections. Quick little rundown there for you guys as to why I like to play. And a 2.5 point spread. So the game should stay close, which means Shai Gilgeous should get his full allotment of minutes. Let's hope, right? We talked about liking Jakob on the Raptors yesterday against the Spurs in a game that was like a 1.5 point blowout, 1.5 point spread. That game turned into a blowout. I talked about liking Nikola Jokic against the Bucks. That game had like a 1 point spread. That game turned into a blowout. So these are things that I cannot control. I do everything in my power with stuff I can control. All my plays have lots of data points, lots of reasoning behind them. I oftentimes have people coming and commenting on my videos after a night like that where all the plays went south and they're like, this guy's an idiot. And I think they are not quite educated to the fact that the players sat on the bench the whole fourth quarter because it was a blowout. Like, I think some people don't even know this stuff. Like, I'm factoring in these guys getting their full allotment of minutes, right? So this game has a 2.5 point spread. It's really not expected to turn into a blowout, and it just so happens we have overs on 2 players in this game, right? I like Franz Wagner. Now we're talking Shai Gilgeous. We need the game to stay close, as it's expected to, right? If the game goes to overtime, we might get lucky having the over, right? There might be some times you have unders and the game goes to overtime and you get screwed over. It goes both ways. So it's just part of the game. It's a little bit scary to me that some people don't know this stuff, man. Like, and they're putting their money on props. But hey, I just try my best to help. So, yeah, this is going to be the other prop that we're going to discuss. It's going to be Shai Gilgeous. I talked about the matchup, and my keyboard shortcuts just stop working midstream every stream lately. I don't understand why, but Shai Gilgeous is going to be a phenomenal prop to be discussing here. 51.0 fantasy score. I've got him going out there and getting tonight in the mid 50s. Okay, so they've got him in the low 50s. I've got him in the mid 50s. His ceiling's all the way up to like 65, 70. He's put up 69 and 67 in that Toronto and Charlotte matchup. So, but what were we discussing? We were discussing the minutes. I just wanted to bring up the minutes real quick, and then I'm going to speed things up as long as we're getting these likes in. It looks like there's quite a few people in here. Thank you to all of you that are tuning in tonight. I'm going to be giving you guys a 6-pick flex on Prizepicks that you should be able to tail. I'm going to be giving you guys a 5-pick on Betr second. As soon as this thing gets up over 100 likes, we're going to be dropping a 6-pick flex for you on Prizepicks, and then we'll transition over to Betr. All right, guys? So Shai Gilgeous is the next guy, 51.0. I've got him priced. He's too low, like we talked about with these other guys. Slim made a great point in the chat that Prizepicks has gotten a lot better at pricing fantasy score props. He's absolutely right. They've gotten a lot better at pricing everything. So when you're getting a guy projected like 3 or 4 fantasy points off, believe it or not, it's a pretty big deal. In a perfect world, we'd be having guys projected like 20 off because Prizepicks would just be terrible at pricing stuff and we could just all get rich together easy. But there's a reason you're watching my content right now, because it's not so easy. You really got to find every piece of edge that you can, and we do have an edge in these 3 here tonight, right? I got Shai Gilgeous in the mid 50s. I got Franz Wagner in the upper 30s. I've got Jalen Duren in the upper 30s. So it's just about as much edge as you're going to get now with Prizepicks being so good at pricing these fantasy score props, right? So there's 3 that I like. We're all the way up to 96 likes. Let's keep cruising along here, and I will switch over to Better Picks as soon as I drop this 6-pick flex as well. Bam Adebayo, another guy that was popping for me earlier here today, and specifically his under 44.5. This is a good example of Prizepicks over adjusting, in my opinion, right? There's going to be no Jimmy Butler tonight, which is going to increase Bam Adebayo's usage. We all know this, right? There's no Terry Rozier. So I don't know if there's a lot of people just logging into the Prizepicks app knowing this and taking his over, but I have his under here tonight just because this is too high. I've got him going out there and getting in the upper 30s from a base projection aspect. Prizepicks has gone ahead and priced him in the mid 40s. I just think it's a little bit too high. He can go out there and have a pretty great game, guys, and still stay under. Like the last time he scored right around the upper 30s, or 41.1 against the Clippers would be a great example. Let's look at his game log. Like if you look at his game log, right, guys, it's going to be pretty solid. There's probably going to be a lot of solid stats across the board here. He had 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 14 points. Like it's a very respectable game, and as you can see, he still didn't go over this line. So all this stuff's factored in the projection. If you're watching KJK, did you factor in that Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier out? Yes, I did. If I didn't know that, that's quite pathetic for me to have a platform to be giving people advice on this. I should be knowing injury news, all right? So I'm on top of it. You can see here, this is the deal, right? So Duncan Robinson's list is questionable. Jimmy Butler's out. Josh Richardson's out. Terry Rozier. Let's go ahead and look at the on-off court stats with this current starting lineup. We're only looking at a 17-minute sample size. So this is where things get a little bit dicey, right? Because we really don't have a large sample size. But with this lineup, it's been a lot of Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo, Jamie Jacquez, Caleb Martin, kind of lower usage, right? So even with no Jimmy Butler on the court, Bam Adebayo's usage is still pretty mid, all right? So I do think he goes out there and scores right around 40 fantasy points tonight, which is going to be, a pretty respectable game. But it's not over 44 and a half. All right, guys. So that'll be our first under on the stream. Once again, it's just Prizepicks has gone ahead and they've inflated his line a little bit too much in this spot for me, right? I think he can have a solid game. I think he goes out there and scores right around 40. So that's solid, but it's not over 44 and a half. You follow me? So that'll be our fourth, and then I'll have 2 more for you guys. These next 2 might have to be plays I haven't provided to my VIP yet. Looking at the board, which if that is the case, I'm just going to want to make sure I send it to them first for about 90 seconds before I drop on the stream, as always, to give them the opportunity to place it first. But let me see. De'Aaron Fox has been bumped since the line that I got him at earlier, so I do not want to touch him. We've got 4 solid props that have not been bumped. That Adebayo play is scary. He killed that line last time they played. Yeah, man. Well, everything's scary because it's just the edges. Like I've discussed, right? The edge is like 3 or 4 fantasy points oftentimes in these fantasy score props, and then non-fantasy score props get bumped like crazy. So we just have to take the edge that we can, and he's got some of the best edge on the entire board. And what is his edge? It's nothing crazy, right? I wish they just sucked at pricing fantasy scores, and they had him at 55 and a half, and we could take the under and just make it easy on us. That's not the case. So he's at 44.5, and I've got him projected for like right at 40, man. So yeah, it's not fun. But like I said, believe it or not, if you're getting like a 4 or 5 point differential in your projection, that's like typically as much edge as you're going to get on fantasy score props on prize picks. It just is what it is. They've just become that effective at pricing them. So, um, all of these guys, I've got like 4 or 5 fantasy points off. So they're my favorite fantasy score props for that reason. All the other guys, like a lot of these guys you're seeing on the board right now, I got asked about Sabonis, right? He's at 49 even, and that's like right where I have him projected. Grayson Allen 22 even, that's like right where I have him projected. Devin Booker 44 and a half, I've got him projected like right at 44, right? So it's just like there's not as much edge in those fantasy score props, so we have to take the ones where there's as much edge as we can get. I'm leaning towards fading Hero more than Bam, but I'm gonna play both two different. Well, I like a Tyler Hero's prop, or at least I did earlier in the day if it hasn't been bumped. So you might have just brought up our next prop for the stream here. Let's see. Yep. Let me make sure the value on this hasn't changed at all. Yeah, it does look like it's shifted a little bit. Probably not a play I want to promote this late. Alright, I gotta speed things up and get this done because I gotta get out of here and keep dropping plays over to the VIP. But we have 4 solid ones. And then our next couple are kind of in the air. What sucks is I like Anthony Edwards, but he's now listed to downgraded to questionable, so we don't even know if he's going to play. I have a feeling a lot of the other props that I like have been bumped. Yep, Carl. I liked one of his props that's been bumped. Let's see here. I've got 2 more for you guys that I've already locked in. So I'm going to roll with those. We'll make it kind of quick here to wrap up the Prizepicks 6-pick flex. We have 192 people in here, guys. If we could get this thing up over 150 likes, that'd be greatly appreciated. It's free. It takes 2 seconds to do. I'll be dropping the 6-pick flex for you guys here shortly. We reviewed these first 4, and I do have 2 more that I've already placed that have not been bumped yet on Prizepicks. So I'm going to fill out my slip with those. Right now, I am going to place the 6-pick on my side screen here, send it into my VIP, give them about 90 seconds, and as soon as this thing gets up to 150 likes, I'll drop it right on the screen. There's 196 people in here, so we should be able to get to 150 very easily. And I'll pull it right up for you guys. All right, guys? So we have 4 picks that we're going with. These will all be featured in the slip. And then I'm going to add in 2 more with good value right now. Send it into them. Give them, send it into my Discord. Give them a solid, like I said, 90 seconds to place. And then I will pull it up on the screen right after for you guys. All right? You follow me? So let's do this real quick. The first play that we discussed was Shai Gilgeous. We like him, so he's number 1. The second play we discussed was Franz Wagner. That's another play that will be featured in the stream 6-pick flex today. 1, 2. Bam Adebayo we discussed. He will be in here for 3. 4 is going to be one of the plays that I have not brought up yet, where there is good value on the prop and it has not been bumped, so we can add that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Duran was another guy that we were discussing. Who was the other one that I was going to add in here? Oh, skipped over him. I know. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so we're at 122 likes. Get this thing up over 150 and I'll drop it, guys. We have over 200 people in here. We should be able to hit 150 likes very quickly, and then I'll pull up the exact 6-pick flex that I'm locking in right now, right? And then we'll quickly transition to Betr I'll be giving out a 5-pick for Betr as well, and that'll just be straight to the point. We'll just have 5 plays that we can get on Betr that have been bumped where the value's taken out on Prizepicks, or value we can't get on Prizepicks. And I'll make that nice and quick and right to the point to wrap up the stream after I drop the 6-pick. All right, guys, so we're doing the 6-pick once we get to 150 likes, and then we'll transition over to Betr. And like I said, the 5-pick will be boom, boom, boom. And then we'll get out of here. I'll give you guys a free slip on both platforms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to lock this in right now. Prizepicks only lets me put up to $40 on my 6-pick flexes now. So that's what I play for my unit size now. Okay, I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Discord. Prizepicks. KJK, DFS, YouTube, live stream, 6-pick flex. All right, perfect. So I locked it in, guys. I did send it in to my Discord so my VIP members will have a solid like 90 seconds or so to lock it in before you guys. And then as soon as we reach 150 likes, I'll drop it right on the stream. All right, I'll pull it up for you guys. We're at 131. There's over 200 people in here, so I'm very confident that we can get to 150. I would not set a goal that I know we can't reach because I do want to provide you with the picks, not leave you hanging. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. The Atabey play is scary. Yeah, I talked about that. I'm leaning towards fading Hero more than Bam. Porzingis is out. Drew's looking nice. Hero going under. Drew locking him. I saw someone ask about the tacos, guys. If there's a certain play in this ticket where you're like a little bit iffy on, or we'll just say this, your least favorite play, you can 100% replace with the taco. Okay, guys. You feel free to take any of these plays, or like I said, I'm dropping a 6-pick flex. So if you like 5 of them, but the 6th leg you're like, I don't know, I'm a little bit iffy on that one, then fantastic. You have an opportunity with the discounts going on today to quickly pivot. It's something that my members do all the time, my VIP members. If I drop a 6-pick or a 5-pick on Betr, for instance, and there is a promo going on, they will just simply, the play got bumped or removed off the board. They'll just simply replace it with the promo. And a lot of my members have cashed in doing that exact thing. I had somebody message me this morning saying thank you, actually, because they had avoided a bump and gone with the promo. Spood1212, I believe it was. So shout out to him if you're watching, Spood. right here. So these are all plays that I provided right over on Betr. These had all been bumped on Prizepicks. Gafford Rebounds wasn't available. It was at 7.0. Jakob Poeltl was already bumped to 12.0. Nick Richards was already bumped to 9.0. And the last play is Nikola Vucevic's under 11.5 rebounds. That was once again a prop that was not available on Prizepicks. And guess what? Nikola Vucevic ended with 11 rebounds. Shocker. That happens all the time. Jakob Poeltl ended with 12 points. And Nick Richards ended with 9 rebounds. Literally all those guys cleared their props by 1, right? So he tailed my my Betr, and then one of the plays got bumped or taken off the board, and he went ahead and just pivoted to another prop. So that's all stuff that a lot of my members will do should there be a bump or a play removed off the board. All right, so I'm guessing we hit our like goal by now. No, we haven't. 144. We literally need 6 likes, and I'm dropping a 6-pick flex for you guys. We should be able to do that in 2 seconds. Drew Holiday, like it. Sabonis. John says cap. John, you seem like the kind of guy I'd love to hang out with. Inspirational. 147. Three more. And I'm going to refresh right now to make sure I pull it right up for you guys. $151. All right, guys. So get your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you use to place your Prizepicks entries ready, because I'm going to bring up the stream 6-pick flex right now, okay? And then we're going to switch over to Betr, and Betr is going to be less breakdown. It's just going to be straight to the point, all right? So I'll make that known. The Betr will get the 5-pick in together, and we'll bounce out of here. So this is the 6-pick flex we're rocking with tonight. The 2 plays that I wasn't able to break down are the Brook Lopez points and the Chet Holmgren 7.5 rebounds. There's great value on both of them. The under on 7.5 rebounds for Chet, and the over 11.5 points for Brook Lopez. I keep telling myself I'm going to be in and out of these streams in an hour, and every time I look at the clock and it's like been too long, so I just had to get right to the point. But those plays both do have really good value on Prizepicks today, and they haven't been bumped yet, so take advantage. Brook Lopez, we're looking at minus 150 on the over on Pinnacle, 11.5 points, which is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Chet Holmgren's favorite across the board as well, on the under 7.5. All sorts of different books are favoring his under, so we're looking at a lot of different data points to establish these plays, right? Not only the fantasy score props, but also the non-fantasy score props. We're looking at a ton of different data, millions of dollars invested into sports books. I'm pulling in a ton of different data. The OddsJam Sportsbook screen I pull up all the time, some different optimizers. You can literally just go to the sportsbooks themselves as well. But this is the 6-pick flex, so if you would please let me know once you have this locked in. That'd be greatly appreciated. That way I know everybody got a chance to place it, and then we'll switch on over to Betr, and I'll drop a 5-pick for you guys to end the stream. All right, guys? So this is going to be our Prizepicks 6-pick flex. Please let me know once you have it locked in. I think I can tell that a lot of people are locking in and leaving that maybe aren't interested in Betr, as I can see on the stream people leaving. So that's my guess, is people are just taking it and leaving without saying anything. But done, lock, got it. Thank you, no problem. Thanks for tuning in. Let me make sure that my phone cast is still working. It is. I love that you do better picks at the end. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, better picks. You can use my promo code. The match up to $500. Apparently, that might be done now. I got an email saying that they're now offering the better sweater option, but not the deposit match, which unfortunately, like, I can't control that. That news just got thrown on me, so I've never had a sponsor where there wasn't a deposit match the first time. So now they're going to cover you up to $250 on your first. They were matching your first up to $500, and the first entry they were covering. Now I think their offer is going to be the $250 protected play when you sign up. So that's a big change on my end, because I have my deposit match everywhere. They'll match you up to $500. Like, so try to get matched up to $500. If you use my promo code, I know for a fact you're going to get this $250 no sweat when you sign up with my promo code. But yeah, the better picks we're going to make very quick, straight to the point. All right, guys. So everyone got it in, it sounds like. And let's talk about some value on Betr that we can't get on Prizepicks. And like I said, I'm going to try to make this rather quick because I have to get out of here. So, and the board's always changing. So just bear with me as far as, like, are the props still available? It does look like there are still some of the props available. So like I said, I'm gonna do it live with you guys. So some of these I know were available, that might not. Devin Booker's the first guy that I can tell already is still available on Betr, that has been bumped on Prizepicks. So we're gonna be able to get value on Betr that we can't get on Prizepicks. He's still listed. Let's see if this is a prop that's available. Yes, it is. Let's see. Bam was a guy that I thought I was going to be able to promote to you guys, but it looks like his line might have changed over here. Yep, it did. So, guys, I apologize. I want to make this as quick and straight to the point as possible. It's just the board's changing, so I have to adjust with it, right? Let's see. Well, Lopez was another play. Bridges, maybe? Okay, so there's a play that we can discuss, which I actually already took this on Betr earlier at a different line, but for the sake of the stream and getting straight to the point, there's value on this prop. And all these plays are going to be plays that you can't get on Prizepicks. So that's why we're using better picks, right? We're taking advantage of value that we cannot get on Prizepicks with these picks, right, guys? So let's see, is Bam? Yes, so it looks like we have another prop here that we can take advantage of on better picks that isn't available on Prizepicks. So that's going to be our second one here. And I know you can't see my phone right now, guys. I will bring it up on the screen so that you can see it, I promise. I just have to get all this done. I'll lock in the ticket, and then I'll pull it up on the screen. So there's 1, 2, 3 might be an option. Let's see, another one here that was popping. Yep, okay, so another prop that's been bumped on Prizepicks that we can place on better picks here for, and players are getting removed as I go. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit quiet here, just finding value for you guys. So, just stay tuned. I will drop soon. Another play that's been bumped here. Let's lock this in. So we have 3. And Betr player removed. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. I'm just going to find 5 plays. I'm just going to find 5 plays and drop them. The bumps are crazy. And I can't control them. 1, 2. I know another play here. 3. 4. And need 1 more for you guys. I have 4 picks, all of which we cannot get on Prizepicks. And I need 1 more, and I will place it. I'll send it into my VIP, give them about 90 seconds, and I'll pull it right up the screen, guys. So everybody get your phone out or your tablet or whatever. It's only available on mobile. I'm guessing we're all going to be using a phone for Betr. I just need 1 last play. One, 2, 3, 4. And the last one I just possibly, well, we already have him. Wait a second. Oh, I know what happened. I know what play got removed. Okay, perfect. All right, so get your phones ready. I'm gonna drop it, and I'm gonna send it to them. Give them 90 seconds. 1, 2 is not gonna be it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th one, I believe, is just completely gone on Prizepicks. I had locked this in earlier. Yes, it is. All right, guys. So I am going to send this into my Discord. Give them 90 seconds. So be ready. I'm dropping it shortly. I'm going to place it right now myself. It's going to be a 5-pick. 5 picks are optimal on Betr. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you cannot get a single one of these props at the current lines we're going to get on Betr on Prizepicks. So download the Betr app and use my promo code KJKDFS, and your first entry covered up to $250. And the reason we're using Betr is because we can't get any of these lines on Prizepicks, right? So that's why we want multiple apps. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, place. Just placed. I'm going to send to them, and then we're going to make it very quick, and we're going to get out of here. So just be ready to place. KJK DFS live stream Betr Picks ticket. Perfect. So I just sent to them. So I'll make sure my phone cast is working. So when I pull it up, everyone can see here. Let me make sure that it's working. And everyone be ready to place. None of these props are available on Prizepicks. They've all been bumped. I've got them all pulled up on Prizepicks, but as you can see, they're all at push numbers. So there's either value on the over or the under of the prop, and Prizepicks has gone ahead and bumped it and made it a push number to take the value out of the prop, right? But on Betr there are no pushes, so we can take advantage on Betr where we can capture the value that has been bumped and taken away from us on Prizepicks. So I'm going to count to 10 seconds. I'm going to count down from 10, I should say. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is what we are rocking with, guys. We have as follows. Josh Giddey under 14.5 points and assists. It has been bumped on Prizepicks. They've gone ahead and they've taken the value out of the prop. They've said it's too good of a play at 14.5, so we're going to make it 14 even, right? Jay Crowder over 7.5 points. As you can see, it's also been bumped on Prizepicks. They've said there's too much value on the over. We're going to make it 8.0 even to take the value out of the prop. Dorian Finney-Smith over 3.5 rebounds. This is a prop that's not even available on Prizepicks. I had locked it in earlier on Prizepicks, actually, myself. It was available earlier. They've taken it off the board completely. Once again, there's too good a value, right? So Cade Cunningham over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. As you can see on the right side on Prizepicks, they've already bumped it up to 34.0 even. And lastly, Devin Booker under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. As you can see on Prizepicks, they've bumped it down to 40.0 even because they've gone ahead and they've said there's too good a value in this prop. We are going to bump it so that our users can't beat us too badly. All right, guys. So it's a 5-pick. If you would please let me know when you have this locked in so I know that everyone can see it nice and clear. I put $50 on it. That is my unit size. On Betr, it's the most that they'll let me place. I wish I could place more, but for the time being, the most I could place on a 5-pick is $50. So that is what I place. If that is a lot for you, if that's too much, please don't place it just because I did. Place whatever your typical unit size is. And please let me know once you have this locked in so I can know that everyone has it and I can get off the stream. Josh Giddey under 14.5 points and assists. Jay Crowder over 7.5 points. Dorian Finney-Smith over 3.5 rebounds. Cade Cunningham over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Devin Booker under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'll start from the bottom and I'll go back up. Devin Booker under 40.5 points and assists. Cade Cunningham over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Dorian Finney-Smith over 3.5 rebounds. Jay Crowder over 7.5 points. And Josh Giddey under 14.5 points and assists. All right, if you would please let me know as soon as you have that locked in, that'd be greatly appreciated. Regardless, I got to get off the stream because we're approaching tip-off and I got to be locking in some more plays. So this is what we got, guys. After I end the stream, you'll be able to come back and see. You could rewatch. So I have to head out the door. If you want to get access to all of my picks, if you found the stream very valuable, everything that I'm discussing is going into every single one of my picks, guys. The KJK DFS VIP member package is going to be where it's at. It is a Discord. Yes, I got that question. All of my premium content is funneled through Discord. You purchase it on Patreon. You link your Discord to your Patreon. I have all directions messaged to you and pinned as the top post on the page. And you can get access to all of my tickets, all my picks. All the stuff I'm talking about goes into every single one of my picks on these live streams. They get the picks sent to them right away, and they can mix and match their favorites, all of the above. So that's where you can go if you are interested in that. Thank you very much. for tuning into the live stream today. If you enjoyed and you haven't hit the like button on your way out the door. And I got to get out of here. So thank you for tuning in. See you in the next one, guys. Wishing you all the best of luck tonight on your NBA player props. Good luck, good luck, good luck. We'll see you in the next one.